Looking back, I was quite a funny person. I always thought life was boring, but I never once thought about ending it myself. The feeling of boredom was just an emotion, and life was more precious to me than anything else. I thought it wasn't worth it, in many ways. That thought remains unchanged even now. Therefore, I'm crawling in the darkness on three limbs. It might sound strange, but it's true. Right now, I'm dragging my completely wrecked right foot and crawling on the ground with three limbs. If someone saw me now, they'd probably think of an injured stray dog. How do I know? Because that's exactly what I'm thinking right now. Because that's exactly what I'm thinking right now. The price of giving up human dignity was sweet. First of all, I don't have to use my injured foot, so it doesn't hurt, and my movement speed is actually faster than before. Most importantly, there's no chance of stepping on a trap. My elbows and knees ache as a trade-off, but this is bearable. I can endure it. What can't I do to survive? I can even eat dog poop with a smile. Well, if given time to prepare, I probably could. But what happened to that guy? The guy is just a term I use. I don't know his gender, age, or name. I just guessed from his tone. He seemed like a 30-something white guy with glasses. Or not.
Is continuing.
Anyway, what happened to the person who woke up in the body of Orm, son of Kadua? Did he die? Or did he wake up in his original body again? It's a question I've had since I opened my eyes. Even if I try not to think about it, the more dire the situation gets, the more I think of that guy.
Is continuing.
I think I understand why humans believe in religion. Reality is too harsh to face alone. When despair comes, you need somewhere to turn your gaze, just like I do now.
Is continuing. Is continuing. Warning, character's health is below 5%. If not treated promptly, the character may die.
Phew, I crawled quite a distance while lost in thought. I can feel the surroundings getting brighter, albeit slightly. It's a positive situation in many ways. At least I came in the right direction, and my hypothesis that the entire first floor couldn't be this dark was correct. Let's somehow reach the bright place. There will be people there. I'll ask for help by giving them this magic stone. Then somehow... Damn, that's funny. While whispering positive words to myself and giving myself a carrot, another self appeared. Hey, you idiot. Do you think they'll help you for just a piece of bread when they're busy? They might just take the magic stone and shield and kill you. Is it because it's me? This guy is smart. What if you meet a goblin before a person? Do you have no brain? Huh? I can't tolerate any more insults, says the main character. Idiot, then what are you going to do? You still have to go. At least you can see ahead there. Isn't it better than fighting here if a goblin pops out? That's true. My other self agrees and my mind becomes quiet again. I kept crawling. Ah! I feel like I'm going crazy. No, I might already be crazy. Well, I've lost this much blood, so it's only natural, right? My consciousness keeps splitting into two, merging and numbing repeatedly. It's a kind of virtuous cycle. If I become any more numb, I won't be able to open my eyes again. I laughed out loud. I didn't have the energy, but I laughed anyway. Before I knew it, the surroundings were bright. I could see a crystal shining brilliantly at the end of the passage. More importantly, I saw the silhouette of a person standing in the backlight. It's not a goblin. It's definitely a human silhouette. Help! I want to shout something, but no voice comes out. I desperately crawled, closing and opening my eyes. And then, what do you know? The silhouette of the person got closer, as if by teleportation. Surprised by this fact, I closed and opened my eyes again.
Is continuing.
This time, it was even closer. About 5 or 6 people were standing in front of me. I wasn't seeing things, right? I closed and opened my eyes again.
Achievement unlocked. Condition health drops below 2%. Reward mental stat permanently increases by +1.
Then I saw a blond man kneeling. Even though our eyes met up close, he didn't ask anything, just observed me and the surroundings with a peculiar gaze. Instead of listening to others, he was making judgments based on his own experience and intuition. Like a veteran, he quickly came to a conclusion.
A novice.
Damn, then help me, you bastard. As you can see, I'm just a low-level barbarian with only a shield, and all I have is a goblin magic stone I traded for a leg. If you want, I'll give you this, so...
Suspicious. How did a novice get here before us?
I quickly opened my mouth, but what came out was a sound similar to phlegm. No, honestly, it sounded more like the noise a goblin made, but it was enough to convey that I couldn't answer. Soon the blond man asked his companion,
Priestess Ursina, could you heal this person?
"A priest? Could there really be a priest in the party?" I looked to the side with the eyes of someone witnessing a miracle, and there she was, a red-haired priestess in a white robe. The priestess who met my eyes spoke clearly with her beautiful lips.
I refuse.
Huh? What did you say?
I see. Understood.
Why are you agreeing so easily? I felt bitter. I couldn't understand why I was dragged here and treated like this. Just as anger was welling up inside me.
Patran, could you give me a potion?
It's for emergencies when divine power can't be used.
You have plenty anyway. I'll pay you back later.
TCH.
Finally, a man with a sword at his waist clicked his tongue and took out a potion from his bag, tossing it. My heart sank as it was my lifeline. Fortunately, the blond man caught the potion properly.
It's not divine power, so it might hurt a bit.
The blond man opened the cap, poured half on the wound, and let the other half flow into my mouth. Soon, unbearable pain surged through me. Was this the kind of pain that comes when all the accumulated pain in the body hits at once?
Due to the recovery medium effect, the body is rapidly regenerating.
It felt like my whole body was melting. This was why potions couldn't be used during combat in the game. I thought it was just a system restriction, but it turned out to be a realistic reflection. Damn it. Huff, huff. How many minutes passed? Gradually the pain subsided, and I regained my senses.
Now, can you tell me, Barbarian? How did a novice like you get here before us? If you know of a new passage, I'd like to buy the information.
Ah, so that was the purpose. I didn't feel bad. In fact, knowing they treated me well because they had a purpose was reassuring. There's nothing more ominous than unmotivated kindness. Still, I felt a bit sorry. I didn't know any secret passages. I was here as soon as I entered the labyrinth. I honestly told it as it was. The blond man tilted his head, then nodded with a look of understanding.
Indeed. I've read about it in books. Sometimes, due to dimensional instability, such cases occur.
My heart pounded loudly. I asked again, as if I had misheard. First time, you say? I couldn't believe it. This party had a priest and a wizard. It meant they were properly equipped, at least for the middle layers. But it was their first time?
Yes, the book said it happened once in 100 years, if at all. Falling to the outermost area like this.
Ah, I see. It's something that happens once in 100 years, and I experienced it the moment I first entered the labyrinth. Now I understand why other barbarians didn't carry torches. No one worries about getting struck by lightning just because it's raining.
It seems like it's your first time, but experiencing such a rare event must have been a disaster.
The blond man looked at me with a sympathetic gaze.
It wasn't the information I wanted, but it was an interesting story. Don't worry about the potion cost and go on your way.
His tone was a bit annoying, but he seemed like a good guy at heart.
Oh, and take the shield that fell over there.
When I looked where the blond man pointed, I saw a shield on the ground. It was about 20 meters away. I thought I had secured it well to my waist, but it must have slipped.
Then we'll be on our way.
They passed by me without giving me a chance to thank them. In the labyrinth, time is money, so it's understandable. No, it's almost a miracle that they spent this much time for me in the first place. After watching them leave for a moment, I quickly ran and picked up the shield on the ground. I should be happy to have survived. Yet, I felt something strange.
Bjorn Yandel. Level 1. Physical 25. Mental 36. New ability 1. Item level 24. Overall combat index 68. New 1.
That barbarian earlier, he's lucky.
Well, it's a bit ambiguous to say he's lucky. He experienced such a thing on his first try.
The blond man replied with a vague smile, and the male swordsman snorted. If he's the kind of guy who steps on a goblin trap, it would have been the same regardless. Meeting us was the lucky part.
To be precise, it was meeting drows, not us. You hesitated to use a potion, didn't you?
When the female archer chimed in, the male swordsman shrugged. Well, there are plenty of guys like that. They won't survive long anyway. I'm sure our priestess thought the same as me.
The priestess smiled bitterly without saying anything, and the female archer retorted.
If it weren't for the temple's rules, Erzina would have healed him. Or if there were no potions, she might have broken the rules herself. Not everyone is like you.
Well, you never know. I've seen too many people with two faces.
Patsran, you should learn a bit from Drows.
For example, the consideration of asking if he knew a secret passage?
Yes. I've heard barbarians don't like receiving help from others. Maybe that's why he was so considerate.
You're praising me too much. When the topic shifted to him, the blond man scratched his head awkwardly. But he didn't deny the word consideration. If you want to take the shortcut, you have to turn here.
It's convenient to have a guide in the party.
Erzina. Usually, guides only know the direction to the portal. It's just that Drows is amazing. He memorized all the terrain on the first floor.
The male swordsman shook his head as he watched the female archer. But where does that blood trail lead? Haven't we walked quite a bit already?
I don't know. But just from the mental strength to crawl such a distance, it seems your words about luck were wrong.
What's the big deal? It must be around here anyway.
Following the blood trail, the group turned in the direction of the shortcut. About 15 minutes later, they reached their destination. It seems we're the first to arrive using this route. It was worth hurrying. Let's activate it.
Wait a moment. Just as they were about to throw themselves into the portal, the female archer stopped them. Isn't that what the barbarian was wearing earlier?
What? The group, checking the direction the female archer pointed, fell silent for a moment. In the darkness revealed by the portal's light, there was a single blood-stained trap and an unknown sandal. It seems to be the case.
The wizard, with an intrigued expression, created a new sphere of light and moved it beyond the passage.
The blood trail, starting from the trap, continued along the curved passage. No matter how much the sphere of light moved, it was impossible to gauge its end from this position. A moment of silence passed.
Hey, Drows, how long would it take to get from here to where we were earlier?
Assuming no shortcuts, about 15 kilometers.
What a monstrous body. To crawl such a long distance alone in this darkness.
If I were in that situation, how long could I have crawled? Without any certainty of meeting someone for help? He didn't know. But one thing was certain, when they first found him, the barbarian was crawling. Even in a seemingly unconscious state, he kept moving his arms and legs. What happened next? Even though he couldn't speak properly, he raised his hand. In his hand was a small magic stone. At the time, he didn't think much of it, but now he seemed to understand what that action meant. He was offering it in exchange for help. Because he had nothing else to offer as compensation. That's why the barbarian held the magic stone tightly in his hand while crawling such a long distance. Just in case he met someone, he could show it immediately. The man came to a conclusion. I have to take back what I said earlier. Just lucky? He'll die early anyway? No way. He knew from long experience. Drows, what was that barbarian's name again? Such a crazy guy doesn't die easily. No matter how hard and desperate the current moment is. Because they never use death as an escape.